But first play of the game, and, it happens all the time. We're going to be able to turn on college football tomorrow, and we are going to see some marquee matchups. We'll see, among all others, we'll see LSU, Florida tomorrow at 6:30. We're going to have the Cajuns go over to Missouri. They move that up at noon.
To get rid of the heat.
It's going to be
noon to get rid of the heat.
It's going to be 98 degrees in Yazoo, Missouri tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So they're going to play that one at 12. But it really doesn't matter where you go. You're going to see collegiate teams come out, and guys who, quote unquote, probably should not be scoring the ball on the first drive of the game are going to score the ball on the first drive of the game. They're going to come out with a wrinkle. They're going to come out with something that the defense hasn't seen, that they haven't prepped for.
I think if you polled everybody in this press box like we talked about at halftime, that it was pretty unanimous that everybody thought that the ball carrier Walker was down when Chance Babineau tackled him. That's neither here or there. But outside of that play, Carencro's been able to limit them offensively. They had the touchdown on special teams, but they've been able to limit them offensively.
Yeah, and we can't say that it's something we've never seen before because we saw a little bit of that last week. Bergeron came out for St. Thomas More. Really, they just slung it down the field. They moved the ball down the field. Second half came around, and we saw a much stouter Carencro defense. We saw different packages being thrown against that potent STM offense. What do we see here in the third quarter? We would say we don't want to take away credit from one person. A year ago, we would have said from the Coach Pettis defense, which really did a stout job throughout last year, in all honesty. And then this year, you bring in Jordan Romero, bring in Kyle Siebold with Kobe Pettis. You got a three-headed giant out there that's going to work together to find solutions. And hopefully one of the biggest solutions is how do you stop number 7, Braylon Walker?
Hey, look, you think it's a big game or a big opportunity? Ben Mouton, former defensive coordinator at Southside Como High School. He's now the linebackers coach at Nicholls State. Of course, he has a commitment from Carencro's Chance Babineau. He's in attendance tonight to see his commitment take the field. Nicholls State is on a bye week this week. He's using the opportunity to get one of his best players in his class, getting a little FaceTime, Coach. Got to see him. Got to keep those guys
absolutely.
Happy.
That's one of the biggest things, and it's crazy in college football these days, and college anything. Any major college sport, whether it be football, basketball, you've got to keep recruiting the guys that had committed to you until they show up on your campus. Until they show up on your campus, nothing is a given. But then once you get them, you still got to keep recruiting them. It's crazy. I don't know that I could do it.
Every year, too, right? The transfer portal.
Every year.
Sounds like a tough job. All right, that'll do it for the Nolan's Lawnmower halftime show. And we're set to kick off in the second half and bring you the Sheriff, Mark Garber, third quarter. Latham's going to run up to the football, fake scrum, and retreat back to normal kickoff distance. Gets everybody even up side to side. He'll give a point to left, a point to the right. Latham's going to lead up to the football. Puts boot to leather, and it's going to be a high sky kick, going to be fielded at the 30. It's going to be brought towards this near sideline as he's trying to come with a head of steam. It's going to be tackled and brought down by Kendrick Bernard down at the 39-yard line of the Knights.
And they once again target number 13, Wyatt Whitney, same guy that we saw the last kickoff go to. And Whitney ran with a head of steam from the left side of the field to the other. But as contact came close, it didn't look like he was very enthused about trying to make a play from there. Kind of went down, so I think you might see a little bit more of that on future kickoffs for Carencro.
Walker's going to bring out his troops to start his drive at the 39-yard line to start this second half. Walker's going to have two receivers to this near side, one to the far side. He's going to have a tight end in the ball game. I hadn't seen that a whole bunch tonight. It's going to be a fake handoff, and Walker's going to keep it. They're going to drop him as he tries to get to the 45. They'll say he's down at the 44. It's going to be tackled by number 30, Trent Young.
Very interesting right now, buddy. There's I heard interested in the background. There's an injured Knight on the play. That's number 7. That's Braylon Walker, and he's getting up with a limp. That is not good for LCA.
He's ginger there. I don't know if it's just a cramp or an ankle issue.
Yeah, I don't think that's a cramp.
He wasn't excited about it.
No, and that's tough. I mean, and by no way, shape, or means is there anybody in this stadium that I know of that wants to see any kid get hurt on the field. But if that is to affect Walker in any way, shape, or form, I don't think you're going to hear a lot of complaining coming from any member of the blue and gold.
Walker's going to the trainer's table, it looks like, on that far sideline. Coming in at quarterback now for the Knights is going to be number 14, Kaiser White, the sophomore. There's a big difference in the stature going from Walker to White. White's going to wait for the snap. He's going to get it. He's going to hand it off underneath the formation of Bellard. He's going to run through an arm tackle. Now he's going to run into the Carencro secondary, and they're not going to get him. Bellard's going to bring this all the way into the end zone for a touchdown, as LCA is able to strike quickly again and regain the lead. It's now 19-18 Knights with 11:22 left to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, let's be honest and call that what it is. That was a bad job by the Carencro defense right there. They had initial contact with him up at the line of scrimmage. They had Bellard held up, and then, I mean, just not nearly enough to even slow him down, and he just explodes through that. Last week, Bellard ran for 83 yards rushing. He actually had the game-winning touchdown. 21 carries on the night, 83 yards, just over 4 yards a pop, and right there, just an absolute splash play for the Knights.
That was a 62-yard scamper for the touchdown for Bellard. The Knights appear to be going for two. They bring a man across the formation. White's going to hand it off underneath, but there's a flag on the play. Coach is right. They made contact with Bellard around the initial line of scrimmage. He just kind of ran through those arm tackles, huh?
Yeah, it was sloppy. You know,
too high.
Way too high. Didn't get the head across. Didn't stop any momentum. Just it was sloppy. It was ugly. And you know that coaching staff down there for Carencro has just got to be livid, almost sick with that play, because they had the guys in the right spots and guys just didn't make the play. And, I mean, you can't give that up at the beginning of the third quarter.
LCA is going to get a 5-yard penalty. They're going to stay or go for two. They're going to come out in that same formation, bring a man across the formation. Going to look to throw that way. Carencro bringing pressure this time. White's trying to get to that corner. Now he's going to let it fly into the end zone. He has a man, but it's going to be tipped out of bounds. No good.
11:22.
Score's going to remain at 19-18. We're going to step aside for the first time in the second half. When we come back, we'll see if the Crow Bears can answer right here on your home for Carencro High football. Mustang 107.1. The open air Crow Dome. LCA took their opening possession of the second half and was able to find pay dirt and take the lead back from the Bears 19-18 as they're going to try a squib kick of their own. Carencro's going to get the football and bring it across the 35 along that far sideline, where he'll be dragged out of bounds at the 38. And that's where Carson Gursey and company will come out to start their first drive of the second half.
You know, not the worst of things for LCA right there. Carencro has shown a little bit of prowess scoring the ball offensively. It's their ability to stop LCA that seems to be the problem tonight. So, I mean, hey, you give the ball up at the 35, 40-yard line, it's not that big of a deal. As long as you can get the ball last, you got to feel good if you're LCA.
Clinging to a 1-point lead with 11:19 left to play in the third quarter for the Knights. Carencro under center. Gursey has two backs behind him with two tight ends in near tight. Fakes the handoff, now looking to throw. He has a man open. It's going to be Carde Baptiste who's going to catch the football across midfield. He'll be tackled at the 42-yard line, and that's a Papa Bear first down pitch and catch to start the drive on the wheel route.
Wow. All I can say is wow. That was a great play, some great play action, tight, looked like it was automatically going up the middle in that split back look. Found Batiste coming out of the backfield, and just a great catch by the running back, not the receiver, the running back.
Good hands. I thought if he'd have let him a little bit, he might have been walking into the end zone.
Yeah, Batiste got a little speed with him now.
Gursey under center. Sets the line. He's going to hand the football off. Looking to find some running room across the middle of the field. That was Batiste again. Gets the football to the 35. Nice gain of 8 on the play to set up 2nd and 2.
I tell you what, I have been really impressed with him in the first few weeks of this young season. 2 official weeks, but really impressed with Batiste. I mean, he has run the ball hard. See a different looking competitor on the field from him. A little bit more mature, and he's still a young guy.
First step burst for Batiste. Only a junior, though, to your point. Gursey back under center. Hands the football off. This time it's going to be Taylor. Taylor pushing the pile. Physical run. Gets finally drugged down at the 26, and that's a Papa Bear first down.
I mean, what a contrasting view of offenses, huh? I mean, you have Carencro who's just going to kind of grind it out tonight. Obvious that that's the game plan. LCA with the big burst plays, but it looks like could be a flag on the play. Not sure what's going on.
After the fact, waiting on the white hat to come over. White hat's going to come and make the call. Dead foul. Personal foul against LCA. Some more free yardage. LCA keeps shooting themselves on the foot. It'll be another Papa Bear first down, this time via the penalty. And the Crow Bears are marching now deep into Knights territory.
Stop me if I sound like the broken record, but anyway it comes.
1st and 10 from the 15 now for Carencro. 9:58 to play in the third. It's been all under center, all with 2 tight ends so far in this second half.
You've got Kendrick Bernard split way out wide to the right at the hash marks as the ball is spotted on the left side, but looks like we got a little stoppage, huh?
I think Gavin's saying that the spot should be a little bit further up the field.
Yeah, we're hearing from the Carencro coaches on the other side through the door. They're saying that the ball should be on the 11 or the 13. Not sure exactly which one or why there would be a discrepancy in between it.
We're waiting. Early in the season, we're mathing.
We're doing it all. I mean, and guess what? For one time, no one in the stands can say the Carencro coaches are wrong, because the Carencro coaches are right. The officials will decide to move the ball, and looks like what's that? It's going to be the 13, 14 maybe, 13 and a half.
We'll call it the 13. 1st and 10 for the Bears. 9:55 left to play in the third. Gursey under center. Hands the football off to Taylor, straight up the gut. Taylor pushes the plow down to the 6-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play to bring up 2nd and 2. Taylor's been a punishing back so far in this second half.
Yeah, he really has. He's run it hard. And you know what's one of the great things that we talked about in the first half? The Bears are in that mythical spot in the red zone where you can get the ball inside the 5-yard line and still get another first down.
Gursey under center, 2 tight ends. Hands the football off to Batiste. Batiste trying to get the corner. He's going to get the football down inside the 5. It came out loose late, but he's ruled down. They'll say he's down at the 5, and it'll bring up 3rd and 1. I thought he was down, Coach.
I think there was absolutely no doubt that he was down, but credit Batiste. He realized the ball came out immediately and pounced on the ball, so I don't think it was ever in question, but I think to your point, he was absolutely down.
3rd and 1. Gursey under center. Taylor, Batiste behind him. Bernard split out wide. 2 tight ends in near. Gursey gets the snap, hands it off straight up the middle, pushing the pile. That's going to be Chris Baham, goes into the end zone. You can start the horn. That's a big boy fencing touchdown.
Yeah, and I sit there and I look at the clock, and we're at 8:40 in the third quarter. So a few minutes have come off, and I instantly had a flashback to last Friday, and I remember how we were collectively holding our breath in the press box and how everybody on both sides of the stands were holding their breath through the entire fourth quarter. I just don't want to go through that again. Can somebody pull away with the lead? Namely, the Carencro Golden Bears. Can we just edge ahead here, boys?
Carencro looks at the swinging gate, elects to go with more of a traditional PAT attempt. Make that a Melançon's funeral home PAT.
LCA is going to bring lots of pressure off the left side.
Latham's kick is up, and it is no good. Wide right. So Carencro could not extend the lead. It's going to be 24-19 with 8:40 left to play in the third. We're going to step aside when we come back. Crow Bears defense looking for a stop right here on your home for Carencro High football. Mustang 107.1. Battle of University Avenue. Your Crow Bears now lead the LCA Knights 24-19 with 8:40 left to play in the Sheriff Mark Garber third quarter.
If Latham makes that extra point, it's an interesting point at the moment because it makes it a 6-point lead versus a 5-point lead. You can look at that a lot of ways. That's 2 field goals. That's a score without the PAT. A lot of ways you can look at it theoretically. At the end of the day, nothing won't matter other than what comes down to the final seconds. As we learned last week, we saw a lot of crazy plays going each way in special teams. Latham will tee this one up again, though.
Latham's going to kick it deep. He's going to go in and out of the hands. He's going to finally get the football inside his 5. Carencro looking to pin him back deep for the first time tonight inside the 20-yard line. They're going to drop him at the 16. Latham showing off that leg and that trust that they have in him.
I tell you what, Coach Gavin Peters kind of lit into the young sophomore a little bit after that PAT. Not exactly sure what I venture to say when a coach like Gavin kind of will get into a kid, it's not something that they did physically. It was a decision. It was something that they could have controlled, and love the way that Latham responds right there. Comes out and really puts the boot to it and puts the Bears in a great position to start this LCA possession.
Braylon Walker makes his return at quarterback, and he's going to be back in the gun. He's going to hand off to Bellard. Bellard's finding running room across that left side. Continues to run through arm tackles of the Bears before they're able to drop him at the 25-yard line. That's a big gain of 9 to start the drive. It'll be 2nd and 1.
And Bellard is just really, really impressive. And as we said before, just a sophomore. But, I mean, it's easy to see. Yeah, it's easy to see that this young man can quickly become a premier back in the Acadiana area.
Walker back in the gun with Bellard. They've been mainstays all night long. This time Walker's going to keep it. He's looking for running room. Carencro trying to get to him quickly. They're going to gang tackle him at the 30-yard line. That'll be enough yardage for an LCA first down at the 30-yard line of the Knights.
I got to tell you, like going back to Bellard, it's just so impressive that LCA is able to find athletes like that, just a small school on University Avenue and find a guy like Bellard, mention a St. Landry Parish guy, put it in a backfield with Braylon Walker. They're 2 years minus Juwan Johnson. The amount of talented guys that have attended that school. It's very impressive.
Walker hands it off to Bellard, who's going to try the left side. He has plenty of running room. He's going to get to the corner. Now he's across midfield. He's across the 40. He's going to finally be pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
First down, Knights.
Yeah, gotta find a way to seal that edge right there, and that's just something that Carencro has had a really hard time with. Yeah, you've had guys on the perimeter getting hooked all night long and just unable to keep that seal and hold that edge. I mean, with guys like LCA has, man, you're in trouble when you don't, because they all have some speed.
They're going to mark it down to the 37-yard line of the Bears. 1st and 10, Knights. 7:11 to play in the third. Walker gets the snap. He's going to hand it off to Bellard again. This time, Carencro, though, does a great job making contact in the backfield. They're going to stop him maybe for a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
If we can just get LCA to run that play over and over again, we might be all right for a little while. Like we will love to get the ball going inside, and one would almost have to believe that it's just a little bit of, ooh, look, we're going to run it inside because we're about to come back outside.
We're about to pop you. We hadn't seen them try to take the top off with passing the football. Been doing majority of their damage on the ground. Coach mentioned 3 for 3 at the half. Hadn't put the ball in the air in the second half yet. Fakes the handoff, and look, they're going to throw it right here. Walker now looking to run it. He's going to have the corner. Rontrell Woods is closest bear to him. He's going to make the first contact at the 30. I think they're going to drop him at the 29, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, really good job by Rontrell Woods right there. And, you know, as you said, they have not tested this Carencro secondary, and I guess I wouldn't either if I've had the success that they have had with Walker. But, you know, just a week ago, they threw the ball for 139 yards. It was 139 yards and a touchdown that this LCA offense was able to muster up against a really stout Rummel offense. But, man, very limited tonight. But then again, as we said, if you can run it like that, don't stop doing what you're doing.
They took Walker out and they put White back in. They're going to hand off to Bellard, and they're going to drop him. I don't think he got there. It's going to be dropped right at the 29-yard line. It's going to be a gain and no gain on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down.
And this is the heat humidity timeout.
It is the 6-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, which means it is a humidity timeout. We'll take us a Tire Boss timeout. When we come back, it'll be 4th and short for the Knights right here on your home for Carencro High football. Mustang 107.1. University Avenue, Carencro leads LCA 24-19 with 5:54 left to play in the Mark Garber 3rd quarter. It is 4th and 1 for the Knights. Offense staying on the field. Football at the 29-yard line of Carencro. Walker back in the game with Bellard in the backfield. Walker waiting on the snap. He's going to be a runner. Quarterback sprint to the right. He has plenty of room. He's going to get the football out towards the 20-yard line and pick up that first down for the Knights. They're going to say he got down to the 19 of the Bears to extend the drive.
He's just such a balance of speed, agility, power. I mean, it's just so hard to stop. And when you've got a guy like Bellard in the backfield right next to him, I mean, you've got to respect both of them. You know, you've seen Bellard busted up the middle. You've seen him busted to the ends. And you know how dangerous Walker is.
1st and 10. Walker's going to look to throw it. He's going to find his man at the 15. He makes a man miss. He's going to break another tackle, and it looks like he's going to go into the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown for the Knights. As Walker was able to find Allen on the stop route, he did the rest of the damage on his feet and gets into the end zone for LCA to take the lead. It's 25-24 now with 5:41 to play in the 3rd.
Yeah, Amari Dennis had a chance to bring him down right before then. Dennis frustrated on the play before, and it looks like he let it spill over a little bit because he had a great opportunity to make a rather simple play. But that's a simple play against a very talented athlete right there in Braden Allen. Again, the Tulane commit. He is elusive. He is a Division I signee for a reason.
How about the balance, too, Coach?
Yep.
PAT pending right now as LCA's looking to extend the lead. The snap is down. The kick is up, and it is good. It's now 26-24 LCA with 5:41 left to play in the 3rd. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll see if the Crow Bears can wrestle Uncle Mo back right here on your home for Carencro High football. Mustang 107.1. Back into the open-air Crow Dome where your Carencro Bears now trail the LCA Knights. It's 26-24 with 5:41 left to play in the third. LCA is going to kick it to the Crow Bears. It's going to be a squib kick. It's going to be fielded. It's going to be brought out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Was that B. White again, Coach?
Might have been. Appears to be.
Brennan Cormier, I think he's gotten quite a bit of run, huh?
Yeah, and he got that one little kind of squib kick right there, and he took off with a burst of speed and headed towards the sideline and kind of took a pretty good shot right there, right at the 39-yard line. Looked like he's right at the boundary right there. So that's where the Carencro Golden Bears are going to take over from their own 39 with 5:37 left to go in this third quarter.
They're going to go back to that too tight. Split back veer look. One receiver to the far side. That's going to be Seabab. Gursey looking to set the line. Not in any rush, Coach. Gursey will finally set the line and get the play off. It's going to be an option towards this near side. Just strung out really well by the Knights as they're able to drop Gursey around the initial line of scrimmage. They'll say he lost a yard on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 11.
You know, and an interesting point, you noted just now that Bab was a one lone receiver just now. And, we called his name a bunch at the end of the second quarter, but have not been able to call it that much more since we've been out here. And that's just a byproduct of the Bears' ability to run the ball down the field, but we haven't called his name on defense any.
No, you are correct. They're going to stick with that same formation. Bab's going to be the receiver into this near side. Going to hand the football off into the backfield. Carde Batiste is going to be dropped. It's going to be a big loss down to the 35 of Carencro. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long 14.
Lone coverage down here on the bottom. Number 15, Sky Ryan Alexander on Babineau. Interesting to see if that'll be something that Gavin Peters dials up as they'll bring some more receivers back into the game. Kendrick Bernard will come back into the game.
The last drive Carencro got the football, they kind of just drove it down their throat, running the football between the tackles. This time, LCA's able to stifle them on those first two.
Not
attempts.
a lot of that. 3rd and 14, in fact.
Got to stay in the gun now as Gursey's looking to throw the football. He's going to let it fly, and he's going to find Seabab. There's your guy, Coach. He catches it across midfield down to the 48, and that's going to be a pop-up air first down pitch and catch.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a winning combination right there. A little frustration from LCA number 12, Caleb Simon, one of the big junior linebackers for this group, kind of fussing at Sky Ryan Alexander right there to tighten up. I mean, it's been something that they haven't stopped yet, so somebody doesn't stop it. Love to see him keep coming to it.
Protect on the long route, right? Thinking he's going to run the go, and then he just works back to the football. And the timing between Gursey and Babineau, impeccable.
Yeah, something that, comes from rep after rep, day after day, month after month.
Gursey back in the gun. He's going to hand the football off to Taylor this time, trying the middle of the field. Taylor's going to try to spin out of a tackle, pushes it across the 45, and they'll say he's tackled at the 45. A gain of a few on the play to bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I tell you what, he battled for those 3 yards right there.
Tough sledding.
I mean, that was really impressive, and we'll see Sky Ryan Alexander limping once again. He's going to go off the field with the help of 2 LCA student trainers this time. Looks like he's favoring an ankle. So, once again, curious to see, can Carencro take advantage of when Ryan Alexander is not in the game?
Coach, last time he came out of the ball game, they went at his replacement with Seabab over and over and over. Matter of fact, 4 out of 5 plays to set up the go-ahead touchdown before the half. Alexander's down on the turf as trainers will tend to him, and the Crow Bears will come to this near sideline. Look, to get that 3rd down play was huge to extend the drive.
Big
You
time.
didn't want to go 3 and out after giving up the lead. To get that first down and extend the drive was monumental.
Yeah.
To keep that offense off the field.
Absolutely. When you look at the big picture of this LCA team, this is a good team. This is a group that brings back 13 starters overall, 6 guys on offense, 7 guys on defense. They've got 3 Division I signees. And I'm sorry, but I can't tell you of any other school in the area that has 3 Division I signees. There's
Couldn't
a couple
imagine.
places with 1, maybe 2, but I don't know anybody else that's 3. And when your school population is only a few hundred, man, what an elite group of athletes that you've gotten to go to your school.
Carencro just trailing the LCA Knights right now, 26-24 with 3:53 to play
Second down and 7.
in this
Carencro.
third. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Bears, as it appears they'll stay in the shotgun. Of course, Babineau's going to be that lone receiver on this near side. This is when they went at him last time, Coach.
I mean, one would tend to think, but usually what we think is wrong. So
LCA showing pressure as he reset the running back. Now he's looking to throw. No, he's going to be a ball carrier as they just brought the pressure and dropped him.
Jersey
Loses 3 on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Carencro.
I mean, that play was busted before it could even get going.
yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty obvious that the entire house was coming with LCA, and you know, normally we've seen a lot of times where Carencro might check out of a situation like that, or some
I'm gonna look at knees most of the time, right?
Yeah, and I mean, they're on the hash mark nearest the Carencro sideline, and just nothing right there, just ended in poof.
3rd and 10 from the Knights 48. Under 3 minutes to play in the third. Gursey back in the gun with Taylor. Gursey looking to throw the football down the field. Climbs the pocket. He's going to throw it. He got Babineau across the field. Now he's across the 30. Babineau across the 20. Sprinting to the end zone. Does he get in? They're going to say he's out at the 2-yard line. Big splash play on the drag route. Gursey to Seabab sets him up on the goal line.
You know, one of the interesting things with Chance Babineau is one of the knocks that a lot of the big schools put against him was 40 time. You know, his speed. Maybe it'd be shuttle, 40 time. I don't know too many other guys that run with pads better than Chance Babineau. Like, he looked as fast as anybody I have seen
They had to
in the
angle on him
last
twice,
few
Coach.
weeks. Yeah.
Had to hang on him twice. He was able to get to that corner. 1st and goal from the 2. Gursey's going to go under center. 2 backs behind him are Batiste and Taylor. Hands the football off to Batiste, plunges forward, and he's into the end zone. Cue the horn. That's a big boy fencing touchdown, and the Golden Bears have the lead. It's 30-26 with 2:08 left to play in the third quarter.
One heck of a game we've got on our hands, and you know, we looked at each other a few minutes ago. It was about 3 minutes on the clock ago, however long that was. And I thought it was a fourth quarter, but it was 5:28, I think, in the third. Like, have we been here that long? Like, what's going on here?
It's almost past Coach's bedtime.
Man, oh man, it's Friday. You know, I'm trying to be in bed for 10 o'clock.
Melanson Funeral Home PAT pending. They thought better of the swinging gate, and they'll bring everybody in for a conventional PAT attempt.
See if Latham can better his previous attempt.
Where the point attempt. Extra
Looked
point
so
attempt.
good early on, and then just kind of a dud on that last one.
Snap is down. The kick is up. And it is true. The Melançon's Funeral Home PAT makes it 31-26 Bears with 2:08 left to play in the third. When we come back, it'll be the defense's turn right here on your home for Carencro High Football, Mustang 107.1. Times on that drive, no fear. Cue up Carson Gursey to Chance Babb. 2 huge Papa Bear first downs, with the last one being a splash play for over 40 yards on the drag route that set up the touchdown by Carde Batiste to give Carencro the lead back. 31-26 Bears with 2:08 left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter.
Babineau looked really, really good on that. I mean, he looked as fast as he's ever been.
It's going to be a scrum run-up, fake out by Matt Latham and the boys as he'll reset his troops.
Can Latham rope another one here deep into
Now they have to at least think about
LCA
it,
territory?
Coach. This time he is going to kick it deep. It's going to be caught overhead style at the 10 and brought towards this near sideline. It's going to be cut back towards the middle of the field where we had a pretty severe collision around the 35. There's a Carencro player that looks to be shaken up, but he's getting up now. But boy, that was a
Yeah, pretty good right there. Josh Wilson, number 10, the junior, returned the ball for LCA. And, I mean, he caught that thing, and he was gone. He took off right there. And I think it might have been a couple collisions as he hit some Carencro players right there.
full speed ahead. They're going to finally say that he was down at the 30. Well, now they're going backwards. Is it going to be the 37, Coach? Is that where they're going to play?
He moved to the
He's
right,
holding the football
moved
now.
to the left, moved to the right, moved to the left.
He's doing the cha-cha
Cha-cha
slide.
with it now. We've seen a little bit of everything.
There's a shakeup on the play. There's this
Josh
night
Wilson
down on the
from
field
LCA
as
leads the
Josh
way.
Wilson gets up and is able to go off the field on his own accord. They're going to put that football down where we thought they were going to put it, right? The 37-yard line. And that's where the Knights are going to start their drive.
So in the game against Rummel, LCA felt like one of the things that gave them the advantage was they felt like Rummel got tired. They got a little fatigued, like their shape, their fitness level was a little bit better. But one of the things that I think is interesting tonight is we've seen a bunch of LCA players go down at one point or the other. You know, interesting to see how that carries on into the fourth quarter.
Walker back in the gun. Trip receivers to the far side. One receiver in near tight. Running back mate to his left. Fakes the handoff. Now he's looking to throw the football. He's going to throw it deep for the first time tonight. It's going to be caught over the Carencro defense. Wilson Landry undercut the route, but it was a pitch and catch over the top as Braden Allen caught the football on the touchdown. Once he caught it, there was nobody on top of him. He was able to go in.
Just absolutely a horrible read by the Carencro secondary right there.
You can't try to undercut that route. You have one guy underneath that already. Safety really needs to stay on top.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of textbook. No, I don't want to say prevent, but preventing a touchdown right there. I mean, there's no way, shape, or form. There is no other help up top. You cannot afford to go for that ball. I mean, unless it is a dead duck. I mean, and that was a live ball to Braylon Allen. I mean, just not a smart play.
That Walker to Allen connection gives LCA the lead back. It's now 32-31 with 1:42 to play in the Mark Garber third quarter.
So
LCA is going to line up in an I formation to go for two. Dotting the I is Bellard. They're going to hand it off to Bellard. No, it's going to be a fake handoff, and then Walker's going to go into the end zone.
Two-point conversion is good for the Knights.
They fake the handoff, fake the end around, and Walker keeps it and speeds his way to the pylon. And LCA is going to increase the lead to 3. It's 34-31 with 1:42 to play in the third.
And I got to tell you, that was about as pretty as a play as I've seen tonight because I was fooled. I was fooled.
Yeah,
They showed power. I mean, it looked just like classic power, and I don't even know how they pulled that out of the hat, but it was an excellent job by LCA. Great play call, great scamper, and a big PAT right there as that gives LCA the 3-point lead, giving them the field goals edge as we now have 1:42 left in our third quarter, and it's just score after score after score. You got to tend to believe that whoever has the ball left or at the end of the game, rather,
might have a shot. I'll give you a score from Baton Rouge. Catholic High just scored at the end of the third quarter to take the lead. It's 28-21 Catholic over STM. LCA is going to kick it back to the Crow Bears. 1:42 to play in the third. It's another squib kick. It's going to be fielded this time. He's going to bring it across the 40 and be tackled at the 43-yard line. I believe it was B. White again.
I'm about to say, and I don't know if that was Brennan White again, but his ability to feel, I mean, he is catching a speeding ball that's on the bounce, full speed. I mean, he's doing an incredible job with it.
I got nervous on that one. That last little hop that it took
Oh,
on
I
him,
can't say
it
that.
caught it right in the chest plate. I got a little concerned that one might pop up and go to the turf. But
If
Brendan
I'm-
Cormier with a nice return, getting the football out to the 43-yard line.
If I'm LCA, I know that I'm going to kick off again, and I'm thinking I'm just going to keep on doing it because eventually it's going to work my way.
Carencro under center. 2 backs, 2 tight ends. Fakes the handoff. They're going to throw the football, but he's met quickly with pressure in the backfield and sacked. They're going to say he was down at the 37-yard line.
And
at the end, it looked like he came out of it, but I think they got him down with the forward progress as he was pressure in his face as soon as he faked the handoff. It'll be a big sack for the Knights to set up 2nd and 16 for Carencro.
And when I tell you that, pardon the phrase, everybody and their mama was in the box that time for LCA. They had a play-action call, and it's just not enough time, not enough protection for Guernsey to be able to get any room to separate to be able to hit one of those 3 guys that were all in the route action right there.
Guernsey's going to reset Taylor to his left. Carencro doesn't like what they see, and they're going to call a timeout with 44 seconds left to play in the Mark Garber 3rd quarter. I think you got to run right here, Coach, to set yourself up for 3rd and more manageable. The drag routes have been open when you have time. Just hadn't had a whole lot of time, especially from under center.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. We've seen an entirely different formational package from Carencro tonight versus what we saw against St. Thomas More. The packages were way more exotic against St. Thomas More, kind of what we've gotten used to seeing with a Gavin Peters offense. And tonight it's really been –
the too tight thing has been wild.
Yeah, and you know, and I don't want to say that it's the one-dimensionalness of it is one thing or the other, because obviously what they saw on film was pretty accurate. They have moved the ball down the field. The only problem with it, I would say, is it might come back to limit you in certain aspects.
They are going to stay in the shotgun this time with twin receivers to this near side and Seabab, the long receiver, to the top of the screen. Taylor is going to be reset to Guernsey's left. Guernsey now looking to throw the football. He's looking Seabab's way. Bab's going to catch it and gain some of that yardage back that was lost after the sack, but not quite all of it. It's still going to be 3rd and 12 for Carencro with a big play upcoming, trailing by 3 with 20 seconds left to play in the 3rd.
Yeah, really tough right there. The gain is the same as what you may have gotten with the run. You know, a very, very debatable thing of what do you do right there? There's no great play call for that, but this is the tough one. 3rd and 12 from the 41.
7 seconds left on the clock. They're going to snap it. Guernsey looking to throw the football. It's getting flushed out the pocket. It's going to throw it out of bounds, but there is a flag on the play. Has to be holding in the vicinity where it was thrown.
Yeah, if you're LCA, you know that's got to be a hold. If you're Carencro, you're praying for an illegal hands to the face, but of course it's a hold.
Now 4th down for the Bears, and that's the end of the 3rd period, 3rd quarter.
That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. Carencro trails LCA 34-31. When we come back, it'll be 4th quarter action right here on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. go into the end zone. Huge play,
LCA
and
selected
Carencro
the kickoff.
regains the lead. It's 37-34 now, Bears. Guernsey swinging gate formation. He'll think better of it. Bring back Matt Latham for the traditional Molossaw Funeral Home PAT.
Yeah, and you know when you're honest about this setup right here, the 1 is just as good as the 2 right here.
The kick is up, and it's good.
The kick is up, and it is good. The Molossaw Funeral Home PAT is true. It is 38-34 Bears with 10:59 left to play in the fourth. We're going to step aside. When we come back, it'll be the defense's turn to see if they can stop the Knights right here on your home for Carencro High football. Open air Crow Dome where your Golden Bears just wrestled the lead back from the LCA Knights. It's 38-34 with 10:59 left to play in the Carencro Automotive fourth quarter. After the touchdown, just as Coach Kovac said, Seabab with a little bit of a spike, a little enthusiasm on the spike. And it was hard to do that when you're standing in front of the ref. They're going to push this kickoff back 15 yards. And how about this, Coach? Seabab is going to actually take the kickoff.
Yeah, after the last PAT, we saw Matthew Latham kind of limp to the sideline. Looked like something on the left side was plant foot. Don't know if that's knee, foot, ankle. Don't know if somebody ran into him. So your next best guy is none other than Mr. Do-It-All himself, Chance Babineau. And after that penalty, you know, we kind of put ourselves in a bad foot, does Carencro. So Babo's a big one right here.
Kicking it off from his own 25. It's going to go off of an LCA Knight. Bobbled around but fell on at the 41-yard line of Carencro. But that was dangerous for the Knights as Carencro was able to fall on top of the return man, and the Knights were able to gain possession. They'll have it in prime real estate, already in Carencro territory at the 41.
Yeah,
10:54 to play in the Carencro Automotive fourth quarter.
That is not what you wanted.
And for a little while, it looked like it might give you a chance, though, right?
Yeah, and what's crazy, you know, it was totally unintentional right there by Babineau. Looked to be a kind of a worm burner, as you like to call it. But it just happened to hit an LCA guy on the front line, and the ball popped up and just landed in the right spot.
LCA is going to start their drive, hand it off to Bellard, straight up the middle. But he's tackled at the line of scrimmage. That was number, is that 83 on the tackle? Kelvin Hilaire comes up with the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
A little bit of Hilaire, maybe a little bit of Richard in there. I mean, if Carencro can come away in some way, shape, or form with a stop right here, but there have not been too many times that Carencro has been able to stop this LCA offense.
2nd and 10. They bring Bellard in motion, fake the handoff to him, and now they flushed out of the pocket. Walker looking for somewhere to go, just dancing around, just looking anywhere to go. He's going to finally throw the football away as he gets it out of bounds.
That should be intentional grounding.
Across the nobody in the vicinity, but he did get it past the boundary.
But he's still in the pocket. That's intentional grounding.
I mean, the guy is just so elusive. It is unbelievable.
It's kind of like Jawan was there, right? Like he just kind of hung out in the pocket, extended play. Carencro fans just hold their breath every time he's back there. Don't know if he's going to take off running or find a guy streaking open. That time he throws it away. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the Crow Bears' 41-yard line. 10-11 left to play in the ballgame. Walker back in the gun with Bellard. Trip receivers to the far side. One receiver on this near. It's going to be a tunnel screen at the top of the screen. It's going to be met as soon as he catches it. after maybe a gain of 1 at the 40 to bring up 4th and 9. Great execution by the defense.
Yep, looked like number 17, DeRace James, a sophomore we talked so much about last week, was one of the first guys there. But really a host of Bears there to make the play. A little bit of team defense there, and kind of you want to say, where's all of that been all night long? But LCA's done a great job of spreading it around, keeping that Carencro defense honest. Can they keep them honest again, or can Carencro come up with the stop?
9 from the Carencro 40. Walker rotates the pocket out, looking to throw the football. Now he'll be flushed. He's going to turn into a runner. He's not going to be able to get to the line to gain, and that's going to be a turnover. Make it a best stop turnover, and Carencro will take over on down. The defense comes up with the stop when they needed it most.
Big score update just came through. Acadiana is down 30-14 versus Zachary. It appears Zachary is starting to pull away a little bit. Sets up an interesting matchup for the Golden Bears and the Broncos next week, as Zachary will come to town and could push Acadiana into uncharted territory.
9:17 left in the Carencro Automotive 4th quarter. Carencro clinging to a 4-point lead. Guernsey's going to go into center. There's a flag on the play.
Looks like a substitution infraction against LCA.
Substitution infraction on the Knights. It'll be 5 free yards to cut these 6 in half. It'll bring up 1st and 5. Coach, this has to be a feeling that they felt like they had the opportunity last week to put the game away when they were up 2 scores in the 3rd, could never do it. They're getting the opportunity now, up 4 with 9 minutes and 17 to play.
Yeah, there's been a couple words synonymous with things in Carencro football that we'll talk about when we come back from this play.
Guernsey under center, 2 tight ends and 2 backs. He's going to fake the handoff and look to throw. He's going to try to hit his back on this near sideline as he was trying to get it to Kylan Taylor, but just too wide. It'll fall incomplete as he had pressure directly in his face.
Ever since 1992, the phrase "the drive" has been something that I think a lot of Carencro players have always took to heart, of Carencro having that ability in the 4th quarter to put together a championship drive. And we've seen it at different points and moments throughout the years. This is one of those critical moments where a 4th quarter drive is needed.
Guernsey going to be under center in the same formation. 2 backs behind him. This time he's going to hand it off straight up the middle to Bayham. Bayham getting close to the line of gain as he gets across the 45, but there's a flag on the far side, and it looks to be face mask on the Knights, and it will be personal foul, face mask against LCA, and that'll be a Papa Bear 1st down, as that football will be now placed in Knights territory, down at the LCA 39-yard line with 8:49 left to play in the Carencro Automotive 4th quarter.
And great job by the Carencro offensive line right there. What a push they gave to start Bayham off, and Bayham picked up almost everything but a yard, just shy of the 1st down. But you add those 15 on, that's a game changer.
Papa Bear 1st down any way you'll take him, Coach. Guernsey taking his time, going under center. A lot of men close to the line of scrimmage. He's going to set the line, hand the football off straight up the gut. It's going to be Bayham as he looks to push. Going to gain maybe 3 or 4. It'll bring up 2nd and a long 6.
Such a precarious place as a play caller right now. You wanna run the clock down. You want to eat up as much as you can, but you see LCA just stacking the box right now. And sometimes when you get in split backs and you run that veer look, and a lot of times just getting the keep, you can pop one out of there. But how do you keep LCA honest at the same time?
They're bringing in those overhangs that they were in the 1st half when they started giving you trouble. Guernsey under center with the 2 tights and 2 backs. Hands the football off to Taylor. Taylor trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he'll get quite there. They'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd and 6 for Carencro.
We see Babineau in single coverage down there with number 20, Terrence Velo.
That's who he picked
Valot.
on. Picked on Valot at the end of the 1st half.
It is pure ISO coverage right there. Is it not a good time to pop one really quick. Well,
they
look.
bringing the safety over.
Yep. LCA
They
thinks
heard
a
you
little
good.
differently. Yep.
Back under center. Almost didn't get the snap. He's going to be sacked, stripped in the backfield. Chris Bayham was able to pick up with the football, but that was almost disastrous for Carencro as they were able to get into the backfield and strip the ball from Guernsey. Bayham falls on it at the 48. Carencro's going to regain possession, but it's going to be 4th and long for the Bears.
Yeah, not not what you wanted
They
right
were going
there.
to try what you were alluding to, I think. I think they were going to try the go route.
Yeah, and you know, it's so hard, and it's so easy from right here from where we are. There's no pressure on us tomorrow morning or tonight after the game of the decisions that we make. But, you know, you had 2nd and long earlier. That's as close to a free play as you can kind of get. Maybe that was the time to do it. 3rd down gets a little predictable.
Guernsey with a nice punt right here with nobody back for the Knights. It's going to bounce at the 20 and then take a LCA night, bounce. It'll be down at the
16-yard line for LCA.
Yeah, not the worst of things. After the punt is a really good punt
good
right
punt.
there.
I was shocked they didn't have anybody back there.
Yeah, a little bit surprised right there. Little
Really
bit surprised.
they didn't have anybody
Do they
back
do
there.
they have that much confidence in their offense that they're going to come out and just
For the first time all night long, Carencro was able to stop LCA and turn them over on downs on their last possession. They're going to need another Hercules-type effort, Coach, with 6:21 left to play in the ball game.
I mean, it's been rare that we've seen this LCA team just drive the ball methodically down the field. It has been burst, splash plays the entire time. Does the Carencro defense change the way they play with that in mind? What do they do? Lot to
Walker
play.
and Bellard back in the backfield, 6:21 to go. Bellard gets the handoff. He's trying the far side, trying to get to the corner, but Babineau chops him down after a gain of 2 on the play to bring up 2nd and 8.
LCA.
You know, I mean, it's one play at a time, but as long as they want to stretch the ball out running laterally, I think everybody on the home side of the stadium would love that.
And this is the final heat and humidity timeout of the game.
We're going to go ahead and take our final humidity timeout, make that a Tire Boss timeout. When we come back, it'll be the final 6 minutes to see who wins the battle of University Avenue. Right here on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. Back into the open air Crow Dome where your Golden Bears lead LCA 38-34 with 6 minutes left to play in the Carencro Automotive 4th quarter. Coach, this has got to be, you talked about a drive to put them away. This could be a drive for the defense to stop them.
Yeah,
Figured
you
it
know,
out last possession.
a chance to win the game any single way, whether that's through Chance Babineau or his defense stepping up big.
2nd and 8, Walker back in the gun. He hands the football off to Bellard. Bellard gets across the second level of the defense before he's chopped down at the 25. He's going to be short by about a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for LCA. There's a Carencro Bear that's injured down on the field.
Can't tell exactly who that is. Might be that might be number 83, Kelvin Hilaire.
Carencro's
Yeah, it looks like
72, Cayman George coming into the game and spell him. It's going to be 3rd and a long one right here as the ball carrier was tackled at the 25-yard line.
And I got to say, I mean, Hilaire is a really good athlete, a guy who's played a lot since he's been a freshman, but he's a little light in the rear. You bring in Cayman George, who can kind of be a little bit of a monster. I like the substitution.
Back in the gun, 3rd and 1. Walker hands it off to Bellard, easily picks up the first as he's going to bring the football across the 30 to the 31. They were able to just plunge forward, run the dive play out of the shotgun.
You would have to believe, watching what's going on right now, LCA now a little content to run some clock. I think they might be starting to feel the pressure from, we haven't really stopped these guys too much. Can we get the last drive out of it? Somebody's got to make a big play.
Walker's going to bring our man in motion. He's going to zing back out. Hands it off underneath to Bellard. Bellard continues to find running room. This time he's going to get the football down to the 38 to gain 7 on that first down carry. It'll be 2nd and 3 for the Knights.
I really don't like this feeling right now, as LCA is doing a really good job of running the clock. I feel like I'm watching a Saints game right now, where the Saints have the lead in the fourth quarter and things just kind of crumble at the end. I mean, this Carencro defense got to come up big.
Make it 2nd and 4. 4:40 left to play in the game. Walker brings a man in motion. Fakes the handoff underneath. Walker's going to keep it. He has a seam. Now he got to this near sideline, trying to bounce it back in. Makes Derek Lotz miss, but then Lotz fights back to make the tackle, but not before he makes a big gain into Carencro territory at the 28.
He's inside the 30.
He's just so nifty, nimble on the feet. In and out, weaving through traffic.
And this might sound weird, but I almost rather LCA at the current field position. The ball's going to be spotted at the 28-yard line of Carencro right here, and I almost feel like Walker has less room to manage and negotiate and be the athlete that he is right here. I almost feel a little bit better about Carencro's opportunity to get a stop.
Walker back in the gun. Bellard's been his mainstay all night long. He hands off to Bellard, trying to get to that far corner. He's going to cut it back inside before he's dropped down, but not before he surges ahead right at the end. They'll give him 7 yards on that first down carry to bring up 2nd and 3. We're just at about 4:05 left to play in the fourth quarter.
LCA, again, just so effective on the offensive end, and they're going to be really content to eat the clock right here, as the whole group is not going to huddle. They're going to wait, get the play from the sideline before they go back in the gun with Walker.
2nd and 4. Walker waits for the snap, brings a man in motion behind the formation, fakes the handoff, and he's going to take it himself underneath. He's going to bring it right to first down yardage. I think he's going to get it right at the line of game, as he'll be tackled at the 18 of the Bears. That'll give the Knights the first down with 3:30 left to play in the fourth quarter.
I believe Carencro should have 2 timeouts left, having to burn one at the beginning of the third quarter.
Do you get to a point where you start calling timeouts in hopes to get the football back, or?
That's one of the interesting things that, as the head coach, you've got to face that fact right now of how do you slow down this attack in any way, shape, or form, from getting a stop or to stopping the clock.
Bellard straight up the gut, bulldozes his way ahead. He gets all the way down to the 12-yard line. It'll gain 6, make it 2nd and 4 for the Knights.
I mean, you almost kind of in the back of your head, you start wondering things, from calling the timeouts to, like, geez, do you just let them score right here? Because, I mean, they're just running through you with the chance to come back and score it yourself and go ahead.
2:30 left to play in the game. No 2-minute timeouts at the high school level. LCA threatening. They're going to bring a man in motion behind the formation and handoff, fake the handoff. Walker's going to keep it. Makes a man miss. And then it'll be swallowed up by a couple of Bears at the 10-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1. 2:10 left to play in the game.
Bear fans, it's 3rd.
Carencro leads by 4. It's 38-34. Before they snap this ball, it's going to be under 2 minutes. This is a huge play in the ball game. They have 2 downs, though, to work with.
Yeah, and you got to think, if they get put in a 4th down situation, they're not going to kick it. They're going to go for it.
They're down 4. They're going to have to go. Trying to get Carencro to jump right there as they continue to try to eat up as much of this clock as they can. Walker hands the football off straight up the gut. It's going to be to Bellard, who's going to push the pile to the 7-yard line, and the Knights will pick up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal with 1:35 left to play in the ball game. Carencro clinging desperately to the 4-point lead, hoping to come up with a stop inside the 10.
I got to tell you, for all the folks at home that are listening, this young man, Caden Bellard, a sophomore for LCA, is better than advertised. Now, he's not as good as advertised. He is better than advertised.
Walker hands it off to Bellard. Bellard jumps inside. There's going to be a flag on the play, though. Bellard got down to the 4, but the flag was thrown back at the 5. It's going to be holding against LCA. That's a huge penalty, 10-yard penalty. Replay the first down. But that football is going to be spotted, I believe, at the 14.
Greatly changes the field position.
Where did the hole take place? They're going to spot this football all the way at the 18-yard line.
Greatly changes the field position. The fact remains it's still first down, and it's 1st and goal, but the difference of where the ball was spotted originally and 18 to the goal line is huge.
1-on-1 left to play in the ball game. Walker brings a man across the formation. This time he's looking to throw the football, dancing around in the pocket. He's going to look to become a runner now. He's going to jump up. He's going to be tackled. Will Laverne will drop him at the 15.
2nd down, and there is a timeout on the field.
It'll be a timeout Knights with 50 seconds left to play in the ball game. Walker tried to go airborne right there.
And, I mean, he got up in the air, too.
I'd imagine he plays on the hardwood, right, Coach?
I don't think he does.
No? Man, he's so athletic.
I don't think he does. I mean, like he got up right there. I mean, he's just the guy. I mean, I'm just so impressed with the sheer athletic
he's
ability.
A safety or a receiver at the next level?
Man, I don't know.
I like the ball in his hands.
He's really dangerous with the ball in his hands. I mean, I just even more impressed than I was a year ago. More impressed than I was on film. I mean, he is just so elusive. I mean, he gives you a hip, he takes it away, and then he's gone. I mean, he's got a great burst. I would love to see where he finds a home in college. You know, I hate to say this, but I hate to see what Juwan Johnson, you know, like where is his natural position? I mean, he's kind of in that purgatory right now of
LSU's giving him a lot of running back. I don't know how comfortable he is there, but he's such a playmaker.
Right. You know, you're talking about two guys that are just they're winners, man. They can run the ball. They're elusive. Crazy ability.
50 seconds left to play in the game. 2nd and goal from the Carencro 15. Knights in the shotgun. Walker brings a man across the formation. He's looking to throw one-on-one coverage. It's going to be a fade route. It's going to be incomplete. Derek Lotz in on the coverage. Did a great job using the boundary as an extra defender. It'll be 3rd and goal now from the 15 with 43 seconds left to play in the game.
Do you remember what I told you earlier? Is that I did not want this feeling like we felt last week against St. Thomas More when we're in the waning seconds of the game and my stomach is turned totally flip on the other end. My legs are shaking. I can't handle it.
3rd and goal from the 15. 43 seconds left to play. Walker with trip receivers to the far side. Bellard to his left. Looking to throw the football. Carencro sending late pressure. But dancing around, but Carencro gets home. Carencro gets home and comes up with a sack.
Quarterback sack.
TJ Jackson gets in the backfield and is able to drop Walker at the 20-yard line. Is going to bring up 4th and goal from the 20. 29 seconds left to go. Timeout Knights.
You know, and the amazing thing that has happened, I said earlier, I like pushing LCA with a limited space right here. I hated when they were way back on their own 30, 25, 30, 35-yard line. There was so much space for Braylon Walker to operate in, and you move them into the red zone, it's less space. And then you look at the play calling that LCA has had. It's been pass down in the red zone. And as a result, it's been great for Carencro. They have not seen Walker as a true threat on his feet as a primary option. It has been a secondary option as he's scrambled when there's nothing there. So the huge 4th down, it is 4th and goal. LCA has to get in the end zone to extend anything to win the game, to have a chance. What do they come out running, and how does Carencro counter?
35 seconds left to play. 4th and goal from the Carencro 20. Walker, trip receivers to the far side. One receiver in near tight. Looking to throw the football. Carencro sagging back into zone coverage. He's going to throw the football into the end zone and caught. It is caught for a touchdown. As they got the receiver in between the zone coverage, and he dropped it in a bucket for the touchdown. The Knights take the lead. It's 40-38 with 28 seconds left to play. I mean, he put it right between two Carencro defenders. Carencro back in zone, elected not to send the pressure, and Walker was able to find his guy.
Yeah, tough if you're Carencro. There's only going to be 28 seconds left on the clock. Not a lot of time to do much of anything at that given point. They had the opportunity to seal the deal and make the play, and for a second I think everybody on the Carencro side thought they did. But as you said, ball was put right spot, right time, touchdown LCA.
LCA is going to have to kick this football from their own 25-yard line. So Carencro will get an opportunity possibly on the return.
Miss it.
Snap is down. The kick is up. And it is
Kick
good. LCA is able to tack on the extra point. It's now 41-38 LCA with 28 seconds left to play. Carencro is going to get a chance at a return here. They are going to have to kick the football from their own 25-yard line. We saw how that cost teams dearly in the past.
Yeah, going to be super interesting to see what Carencro can put together. I mean, there are so very few plays that you can run for unbelievably massive gains naturally. So what they elect to do in the waning seconds of the game is going to be interesting. It would be great if they could start it off with some sort of power return. You know, we saw it a week ago at St. Thomas More. We saw a 99-yard touchdown return. Obviously, that would be among the best things that we could see, but the chances of that happening is very rare and far between.
Rontrell Woods will be the deep man for Carencro, and he's back at his 35 of the Bears. LCA is going to kick it from the far hash. Are you surprised C-Bab's not back there?
To a certain extent, I kind of am. I think Carencro's kind of waiting it out a little bit too, just to make sure what they see from LCA on the kickoff. But Rontrell Woods be the lone guy back to receive.
It will be a deep, deep kick over the head of Rontrell Woods. Rontrell Woods is going to watch it bounce and pick it up in between his 10 and 15. Shakes through tries to shake loose of a tackle, but he'll be dropped at the 20-yard line. Carencro could not take advantage of the unsportsmanlike conduct on that line drive kick, sent Rontrell Woods back, retreating, and just couldn't corral the football with any momentum.
And you got to credit LCA for the ability to make the long drive, for the ability of Braylon Walker to drop that ball in for the touchdown, and then on the reciprocal side of that, absolutely great kickoff when they were put in a bad position to drop Carencro all the way to their own 20-yard line with only 22 seconds to do something with.
Guernsey's going to come out with trip receivers to the far side. He's going to have one back in with him in the backfield. That's going to be Bayham. 22 seconds left to play in the ball game. He's going to reset Bayham to his right. Looking to throw the football deep. They're sending the pressure. It's going to be thrown short. He was trying to find Roberts crossing across the middle, but football was about a yard behind him. It'll be passing complete and bring up 2nd and 10 with 18 seconds left to play in the game.
And Roberts, not necessarily the guy that you want to have the ball in his hands in this situation, not the fleetest of foot, so to speak.
Guernsey still in the gun with Bayham. Trip receivers. Got to know LCA sending pressure, just don't know where it's coming from. looking to throw the football. He has plenty of time. He's going to let it ride. It's going to be caught by Seabab. They're going to say Bab caught it out of bounds. They're going to say Babineau had a foot out of bounds at the 31 where he caught it. So they're going to call pass incomplete on the play with 10 seconds left to play in the game.
You know,
I didn't realize he was that close to the boundary.
Yeah, it didn't seem that way from how he caught it and spun out of it. You know, you're running out of options here too. 10 seconds left. You know, one would have thought if you targeted the sideline on the second play, you would have targeted on the first play. You know, do you have some sort of hitch and pitch right here, or do you go just straight with your regular stuff? Try to work the sideline, or you try to work it deep.
Guernsey's going to bring Babineau back in the backfield. Now he's looking to throw the football. Babineau's dancing around the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. Dropped inside the 5-yard line as he'll be tackled for a loss, and that'll do it. Carencro falls in a heartbreaker at home, 41-38 against LCA. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have the Coca-Cola postgame show. We'll give you scores from around the area and name our Louisiana Cubs player of the game. It was a back and forth seesaw affair. Carencro had him at the end, 4th and goal from the 20, and they dropped it in a bucket to take the lead with 25 seconds left. Coach, it's a game that it's going to hurt. This one's going to sting for a while. You could get some good things out of this, but there's no way to slice it. It's a game that you wanted to win from a perception standpoint. It's a game you wanted to win to build on the momentum that you captured last week against STM. It's a game you wanted to win to keep your season online. Still, everything that you want to accomplish is in front of you. But, boy, if you would have this victory tonight, it would just feel a little different.
Yeah, I think you literally hit everything on the head. From a perception standpoint, you need to win these games. To build on what you did so well last week, you needed to win this game. Going into next Friday's game against Zachary, another home game where you had a pretty good crowd here tonight, you needed to win this game. They did a lot of things well, but they didn't do enough well, and it's gonna hurt. But at the end of the day, it's a long season. It's 15 weeks if you're able to play all the way to that last game. And, at the end of the day, shoot, man, the last 5, those are the most important ones. You got to get there. But when you win this game along with the ones that you're really supposed to, well, gosh, I mean, that puts you in a much better spot to do it. You can't afford to go to a St. Aug in the first round of this year's playoffs.
Well, look, this is an LCA team, and that particular district is probably going to win 9 games this year, maybe even 10. So this could have been a huge PowerPoint win for you where you could have got 19 points in the PowerPoints that you're not going to get. I think this is still going to – Carencro is going to learn from this. The defense looked not up to standard majority of the night. Came up with one big stop in the 4th, and you were on the cusp of another huge stop, and you just couldn't get it done.
They didn't make the big plays when they really needed to. And they weren't big plays at the moment. They were routine plays at the line of scrimmage or slightly beyond. And, bottom line, they didn't bring down the 2 guys that they needed to bring down. Now, credit to those guys. When we're talking about Bellard and Walker, we are talking about 2 studs. Walker is well chronicled. He is a Division I player. He's one of 3 D1 players on that team. But, just not enough stops against Bellard, against Walker.
It was a great game. Got some stats for us, Coach?
Yeah, I got a couple. And we looked at some of the statistical things after the first half. This Carencro offense outgained LCA with 24 first downs as opposed to LCA's 15. But that doesn't really tell much at all, does it?
Not when you had the big explosive splash plays. That's where LCA was able to come at you in different waves, and it felt like they just couldn't stop.
Yep.
They just had another wave after another wave, and you had no answer to it.
Yeah, and then the tail of the tape, Carencro ends the night with only 97 yards rushing as opposed to LCA, 328. And those all came pretty much in bulk. They were either stopped within a yard or 2 other than the last drive, or it was big. It was bust. And, they just killed the yardage right there. Now, through the air, Carencro's got the advantage. Gertie throws for 250 yards tonight as opposed to LCA's only 99. They barely threw the ball, but when they did, they made it hurt.
Yeah,
yep.
They took the top off on the big touchdown. They forced you to defend the entire field.
They really did. Great job play calling wise, offensively and defensively from LCA. I think they kept the Carencro offense a little bit off balance, but in the same token, this Carencro offense drove the ball down the field at will. It wasn't the offense that necessarily was the sole reason for the loss tonight. It was just there's a few guys here, a few guys there, and couple plays here, a wrap up there, get the head across here, and bring a guy down. And, I can't help but think about the first play of the game. And I would really love to see LCA's first offensive play in the game because it appeared Babineau brought down Walker. Both teams, there were 20 guys out there on the field who came to a dead standstill at that moment, but no whistle was blown. Walker got up. He finished the run, and that started LCA off with a bang and a ton of momentum that they were able to bring for the length of the 48 minutes.
I totally agree. We got to crown us a Louisiana Cubs player of the game, Coach. I think, to me, it's out of two guys that really stood out. You mentioned Carson Gursey having over 250 yards passing the rock tonight, but Chance Babineau had to be on the receiving end of a good bit of those.
Yeah, when this team needed him, Bab was really the guy that was able to make the big catches and really gain some yardage. But I think a lot of credit has to go to Gursey tonight, because even though he connected a lot of the passes that he threw tonight, he did throw a ton of them. His ability to create when he had missiles flying at him from every side, and not only that, not his ability just to connect them, his ability to take the ones when there was nothing there and make sure he got rid of the ball safely. I think he gets my vote tonight.
I'll go ahead and give it to Carson Gursey for the Louisiana Cubs player of the game. And not only that, Coach, he had the rushing touchdown too back in the first quarter. He did it with his feet as well. Headsy plays, and he knew where to go with the football when he needed the big play as well. So we're going to go ahead and crown Carson Gursey our Louisiana Clubs player of the game. Well, this is bittersweet. It was a
it
great
hurts
time.
a little bit.
It was a lot of fun, but we just couldn't come up with the victory at the end. This week, what we have on deck for you, Coach's Show coming in live from Préjean's on Thursday night, 6:30 to 7:30. Of course, you could join us live over there at the Cypress Tavern, or you could catch us on the Carencro Bears Network. Next Friday, Carencro welcomes in Zachary. We're going to have a kickoff at 7, pregame at 6:45. And, of course, you can watch that on the Carencro Bears Network, or right here on Mustang 107.1.